Toyota is going all in on the next big leap in electric vehicle technology: solid-state batteries. They're not just making a bet, they're pushing a $13.6 billion chip to the center of the table, aiming to shake up the EV world with game-changing specs: 745 miles of range, 10-minute charging, and batteries that are twice as durable while costing half as much. This isn't some far-fetched startup dream or a theoretical lab experiment. Toyota is making it a reality with plans to hit the road by 2027. To put that in perspective, 745 miles isn't just an upgrade, it's nearly double the range of today's top-performing EV, the Lucid Air. Imagine driving from New York to Chicago without needing to stop for a recharge. But the real game-changer is a 50% reduction in battery costs. Since batteries make up about 30% of an EV's price tag, this isn't just a step forward. It's a potential knockout punch for competitors still relying on traditional lithium-ion technology. Now, if this sounds too good to be true, you're not alone in thinking that. The EV market is full of flashy promises that never materialized. But this isn't just any company making bold claims, it's Toyota, the same brand that revolutionized hybrids with the Prius. When they move, the entire auto industry feels the shockwaves. So, what's behind this breakthrough? The answer is in the name: solid-state batteries. Unlike today's lithium-ion packs that use liquid electrolytes, essentially forcing ions to slog through a thick soup, solid-state batteries swap that liquid for a solid material. The result? Faster ion movement, greater energy density, and vastly improved safety, meaning no more terrifying battery fires. Now let's geek out for a second. Toyota is likely using sulfide-based solid electrolytes, such as lithium germanium phosphorus sulfide or lithium sulfide. No need to memorize those names. What matters is that these materials allow ions to zip through the battery at speeds exponentially faster than their liquid-based counterparts. It's the kind of breakthrough that could turn the entire EV market on its head. On the cathode side, expect a high nickel composition, possibly NCM 811, 80% nickel, 10% cobalt, 10% manganese, or even 90% nickel. This allows for greater energy density. The anode is likely lithium metal, offering theoretical capacities up to 10 times higher than conventional graphite anodes. One of the biggest hurdles Toyota has reportedly overcome is dendrite formation, tiny, needle-like structures that can grow from the anode and short-circuit the battery. Their solution likely involves precise control of the solid electrolyte interface, or SEI layer. The manufacturing process itself will be a radical departure from current methods. Instead of winding electrodes and separators into cylindrical or prismatic cells, we're looking at techniques more akin to semiconductor production. Think deposition of nanometer-thick layers in highly controlled environments, less burrito, more layer cake. Now let's talk numbers. The global EV market is projected to hit 40 million annual sales by 2030, with a total market value approaching $1 trillion. If Toyota brings solid-state to market at scale, they could capture a massive slice of that pie. Even a 10% market share would mean 4 million vehicles, more than Toyota's entire global sales in 2021. But solid-state isn't just about cars. This tech could revolutionize energy storage for renewables, consumer electronics, even aerospace. We're talking about a total addressable market in the trillions. Toyota isn't just building a better car, they're potentially reshaping entire industries. Of course, challenges remain. Scaling up production of solid-state batteries is, well, notoriously tricky. The materials are finicky, super sensitive to moisture and oxygen. Just one wrong move and the whole thing kind of collapses. But Toyota isn't backing down. They've filed over 8,000 solid-state battery patents in the last 3 years alone. That's not just throwing darts at a board, that's a coordinated, all-out assault on the problem. Plus, they've partnered with Japanese oil refiner Idemitsu Kosan to scale up production, focusing on sulfide solid electrolytes, which could be the key to mass manufacturing. Now let's talk market impact. If Toyota delivers, it could send shockwaves through the entire automotive industry. Tesla, long considered the EV leader, could see its technological edge just evaporate overnight. Solid-state batteries promise longer lifespans, reducing waste and the need for frequent replacements. They're also potentially easier to recycle. And when you combine that with the elimination of cobalt, it really lines up with the growing demand for sustainable technology. But Toyota isn't alone in this race. Volkswagen-backed QuantumScape and BMW-partnered Solid Power are also gunning for solid-state supremacy. The next few years are going to be critical. Toyota aims to begin rolling out these batteries in 2027 to 2028, with mass production ramping up towards 2030. QuantumScape, backed by Volkswagen and Bill Gates, is targeting 2024 to 2025 for initial production. Their stock has been on a wild ride, soaring over $130 in 2020, before crashing back down to under $10 in 2023. Samsung and Panasonic are also in the game. Samsung claims to have developed solid-state battery technology, though their commercialization timeline is honestly still unclear. Panasonic, Toyota's current battery partner, is targeting mass production by 2030. And let's not forget Chinese giants like CATL and BYD, who are investing heavily in next-gen batteries. So what gives Toyota its advantage? Well, it's their deep pockets, over $55 billion in cash and equivalents as of 2023, plus decades of battery experience and a vast patent portfolio. They're not just participating in the race, they're really trying to own the track. If they can deliver, it could mark the beginning of the end for internal combustion engines and, honestly, current EV battery technology as well. We might look back on this as the moment when electric vehicles truly came of age, finally surpassing their gas-guzzling ancestors in every meaningful metric. The stakes, honestly, couldn't be higher. We're not just talking about the future of one company or even one industry. This is about the future of energy storage and transportation at large. It's about reshaping our cities, our power grids, and our entire relationship with energy. For investors, this technological upheaval presents a landscape of both enormous, potentially generational opportunities, and let's be real, profound capital-at-risk uncertainties. Toyota, as a globally entrenched and deeply diversified automaker with a robust balance sheet, offers a relatively safe and conservative pathway to gain exposure to the solid-state revolution. So, an investment here is not really a pure bet on the battery itself, but rather, it's a wager on the company's overall execution and its ability to, integrate this technology into its vast product portfolio. This way, the risk is kind of mitigated through its established revenue streams from hybrids and conventional vehicles. In stark contrast, pure-play companies like QuantumScape represent a far more speculative, high-stakes avenue. These investments offer the tantalizing possibility of exponentially higher returns if their proprietary technology proves successful and actually reaches commercial scale. However, their success or failure really hinges entirely on the unproven viability and manufacturability of their solid-state technology. With no other business lines to fall back on, they're left pretty vulnerable to technical setbacks, funding shortfalls, and competitive pressures. In conclusion, Toyota's multi-billion-dollar solid-state battery initiative transcends the realm of mere incremental product development. It represents nothing less than a potential paradigm shift for the entire energy and transportation sectors. The company that successfully perfects, scales, and commercializes this transformative solid-state battery technology will achieve a victory that extends far beyond mere automotive supremacy. It will seize a position of, honestly, unprecedented influence in the global energy landscape. This entity will not only dominate the automotive industry of the future, rendering competing powertrains obsolete and honestly redefining mobility itself, but will also effectively hold the keys to powering our entire world. The implications cascade across countless sectors, revolutionizing grid storage by making renewable energy from solar and wind truly reliable and dispatchable, overcoming their intermittent nature and enabling a full transition away from fossil fuels, transforming consumer electronics by powering devices that last for weeks on a single charge and are inherently safer, and propelling a new age in aerospace with electrified aviation becoming a viable, long-range reality. The race for solid-state supremacy is now unequivocally on, a high-stakes global contest where the financial and technological stakes are truly astronomical, representing a potential multi-trillion-dollar market shift. In this frenetic competition, with its immense financial resources, decades of manufacturing expertise, a vast and protective patent library, and an aggressively announced timeline for production, Toyota has decisively surged forward, establishing what many analysts believe to be a commanding lead. So buckle up, folks. The next few years are going to be one hell of a volatile and transformative ride, marked by breathtaking breakthroughs, inevitable setbacks, and honestly, fierce corporate and national rivalries. The EV revolution, which has already begun to reshape our roads, is now poised to hit hyperdrive, and solid-state batteries are the powerful nitrous boost that will provide the explosive energy density, safety, and cost reduction needed to propel us into a new era of electrification. Welcome to the future. It's going to be a complex, disruptive, and absolutely electrifying journey.